Good afternoon, my name is Ryan Bloss. Today we're talking about this, the Blockstream Jade. It's the latest hot new fashion accessory in the world of cryptocurrency. And I'll tell you what this video was going to be. It was going to be a tutorial. I was going to buy this thing, I was going to do a nice little unboxing video, and then I was going to make a step-by-step how to get this thing all set up kind of video. But I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, okay? And I'll tell you why. We had a little bit of a rough start, the Jade and I, and the reason for that is still unknown, but we finally made our way through it. When I got this thing, I had to set up my seed phrase, which is a 12-word phrase that helps you restore your wallet in the event that you break one or lose one and you need to restore your keys on another wallet elsewhere. And so I got through all that, and then it said I had to do a firmware update. Now, no big deal. Every time you buy an iPhone, every time you buy a drone or whatever the case, you have to do a firmware update. And no reason to get all worked up about it. It's just the way things go. But once I did that, then it wanted me to input my seed phrase yet again to move on to the next step. So I did. And it is very tedious. This thing just has a couple little buttons on the side. And to select the numbers, you have to go click, 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 enter, click, 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 enter. And you have to do that for every word 12 times. And then once I did that, it took me back to the update firmware screen again. So I had to update the firmware, which was already updated, but I did it a second time. And then I had to go all the way through the seed phrase process again, a clickety-click, a clickety-click, and then it took me back to the update screen. Now, by this point, I was ready to smash this thing with a hammer, but fortunately, I did not. I hooked it up to another computer. I used the supplied USB-C cable that Blockstream so kindly provided me, and I got through the process, easy peasy, everything was just fine. So I believe the issue was a faulty USB-C cable. I do not believe it was an issue with the Blockstream itself. So no harm, no foul, Blockstream. We're all set up and good to go. So this was gonna be a tutorial video, but now it is not. I'll tell you what else it is not. It's not gonna be a video where I'm being overly technical and going through all the specs and talking about the latest and greatest, single sig and multi-sig options and yada, 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 and all the security stuff. This is not a product release video. I'm not trying to sell these things. So what this really is, it's just Ryan, which is me, giving my opinion about the Blockstream Jade, the Jade, compared to other things that I've used like the Ledger and the Trezor, and talk about why it's different and why I like it and why I don't. And so let's get into this thing. I bought this thing for a few reasons. Number one, I wanted a Bitcoin-specific wallet. I have a Trezor 5, which I love. It's great. I think it's a nice product. The user interface is nice. The device is cool, although I'm not a big fan of the shape. But it holds like 1,000 different coins and tokens, and it does what it needs to do. It's got a touch screen. It's great, and all that stuff. This thing, it's got a couple things I like. So it is Bitcoin specific. So you're not going to store your Doge or your fart coins or any of that stuff on it, just your Bitcoin. And it's got a little camera on it. It's metal. It's got a nice little design. It is well made. It seems like it's a pretty nice little device. Now, there are things I really like about this thing. There are, a number of things actually. Number one, this thing is good for just about everybody. So let's say you're just starting out and you want to move your cryptocurrency off of the exchange. You just read an article about how insanely irresponsible it is to leave your crypto savings on an exchange. And because, stuff can happen, right? Somebody could hack into, let's say, Coinbase and steal everybody's crypto. Somebody could, make a poor decision over at Coinbase, and all of a sudden the company's going bankrupt. And now everybody's crypto is held hostage. So hardware wallets are generally the first step in self-custody. So rather than letting the bank hold your money, you now want to be responsible for the keys. You want to hold it yourself. Now, there is some confusion in the world of Bitcoin wallets. This thing does not store Bitcoins. There's not little tiny Bitcoins inside of this thing, okay? What this thing does is it holds the keys. Now think about if you've ever seen a maintenance man at a building, like a superintendent kind of guy, and he's got that big ass key ring and all the keys are just a jingling and jangling while he's moving about. That's kind of like this thing. This thing stores your keys. When you have the keys, you're able to access your Bitcoin that lives on the blockchain, more or less, and you're able to do stuff with it because you have those keys. So you're able to send it to somebody, you're able to add to the wallet. We don't need a wallet to add to it, but really if you want to transfer it, sell it, whatever the case, you have to have the keys in order to access it. So this thing is basically, it stores tiny little keys instead of storing tiny little coins, if that makes sense. That's probably the best analogy I can come up with for this particular case. But again, you decided to do that, and this is a good choice for that. Other than my terrible experience due to a faulty USB cord, the setup is pretty easy, and you can get in and you can set it up and you can do what you need to do without much knowledge. You do not have to be a crypto expert. But let's say you're on the total opposite end of the spectrum. You've been in this for years. You are a crypto punk. You know all about crypto and you mine for it. You've got your own Bitcoin node set up and you want the premium solution to a secure Bitcoin only wallet that connects to Sparrow, and you're looking for something that will fill that need. This is perfect for that. It is Bitcoin only. And compared to something like the Trezor also has the 5 in the Bitcoin only model. Why would you want Bitcoin only? Some people believe if you have any connection to shit coins, as people like to call them, and you're storing all that stuff together, it leaves a point of intrusion for people to get on and steal your Bitcoin somehow. So people like it to be Bitcoin only. And some people are just Bitcoin purists. There's a lot of people in the world of crypto who are very passionate about the fact, that they're into Bitcoin only. Everything else is trash. It's all about Bitcoin or nothing. So people like it for that reason as well. But what sets this thing apart from the others, the Trezor in particular, is that this thing can be used air-gapped. Now what air-gapped means is it refers to the gap of air between you and the internet. So there are 3 ways that you can connect to this device. You can connect, like I'm connected right here, to a USB-C cable on your phone or on your computer, and you can connect and interact that way. You can also connect via Bluetooth. Now you can do that by connecting to the app on your phone. I think you can actually connect Bluetooth to the desktop app here on my Mac, or your Mac, or your PC, whatever. You can do that as well. There's also another option, which is the air-gapped method. And what that does is it uses QR codes. And so you take the little camera here and you scan a QR code on one end, and then it generates QR codes that you scan on the other end, and that is what connects the 2 devices together. So it doesn't actually require you to connect to the internet at all. So you can use this thing, you can store your keys on it without this thing ever being connected to the internet and without ever connecting to the internet. And people like that. Some people say it's unnecessary. It's being overly paranoid. People are not going to just, hack in your computer and monitor all your keystrokes and, steal all your Bitcoins, but they might. And I guess anything's possible, but they're not going to do that if you are never connecting to the internet and you're never giving them that access point in the first place. It's just not going to happen. So for that reason, it is pretty great. Now, you might be thinking, well, okay, that's all sounding fine and good. What if I lose this thing? Or what if I smash it? Or what if my dog chews it into bits? Well, dogs like to chew stuff up sometimes. That's okay. As long as you have your seed phrase, you can get another wallet and you can input that seed phrase, restore it, and you can pick up right where you left off. So you are good to go. It's just that simple. So this thing is really just a tool for storing the keys and for allowing you to use your keys, but it's not, again, there's no Bitcoins living inside this thing. If this thing gets lost or stolen or whatever the case, you don't lose all your stuff. This just allows me to, I've got the keys that I need to do the stuff that I want to do. Now, my intention with this device was never to do a lot of transactions with it. So, I'm not going to do a bunch of day trading or any stuff like that. I'm not going to be moving a bunch of stuff on or off. I am going to do a couple things with it. So I'm going to use it to send Bitcoin to and use it as a primary Bitcoin storage. I'm also going to use a wallet address for this device when I am mining for Bitcoin. So if I hit a Bitcoin block or I am receiving my pool rewards, those all go right to this thing. And one of the things I like that this does is every time you go and you get your receiving wallet address, it generates a new wallet address. So you don't have the same one that you're using over and over and over again. And it actually remembers those. So every single time you need to receive Bitcoin, it will generate that address. And then years later, you can still, if you've got this thing connected to like a payout account or something, or you've got this connected to a miner, for instance, and those mining rewards are going to that specific receiving address. It knows that address all the time. It's not like once it creates a new one, it invalidates the old one, unless you want it to. You can actually delete it if you want to. But you've got all these different new, fresh receiving addresses that you can use. And so for that stuff, it's great. So overall, I really like this thing. A couple of things I don't like, okay? Because it's not perfect. The little buttons are tough. You know, the thing I like about the Trezor 5, it's got a touch screen. So when you access this thing, it has a PIN code that you have to type in. And again, you're doing the whole clickety-click thing. So you've got to select the first number, click, 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 enter. And then the second number, click, 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 till you get to the number, boom, enter. And then you keep on doing that until you input your code. Now, if you get 5 numbers down, I think I said letter. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. If you get 5 numbers down, and you get one wrong, there's no like back buttons. Now you have to start all over again. And I got big hands and little tiny buttons, and I'm sitting here. It's frustrating. So I'd like to see it maybe be a little bit bigger. I don't know. Touchscreen would potentially be nice. It would be nice to take the things that I love about the Trezor and the things that I love about this and make one super device. And maybe such a device exists. They're coming out with so many of these things these days. And there are still other wallets I want to try, namely the Bitbox O2 Nova. I just don't want to pay that tariff that you have to pay if you order one from Switzerland. But it's Swiss made. It's pretty cool. This thing is made in China, I think, as are all the rest. That Bitbox O2 is a unique case, and that is a Swiss made device. I've never actually had a chance to play with one. I have watched a couple of videos. It looks pretty cool, but with the tariff, it's like twice the price of this thing, and I don't know that it's twice as good, and so that's why I went with the Blockstream Jade. If it was justifiable, I am not averse to spending money on things if they are worth the money, but I think you can get all the things that you want out of that thing with this. And in fact, this is air gapped, the other is not, the Bitbox O2 is not, and so there's always that to consider. But Bitbox actually wrote an article and said, look, it's unnecessary. It doesn't need to be air gapped. It's just marketing shtick. You don't need to worry about it. I don't know. I kind of like it. I like the idea. I also like the fact that this thing works and it runs whether it's connected to the USB or not, obviously. So it's got its own built-in battery, and you can turn it on and use it. And you can do what you want. Now, if you're not worried about that extra layer of privacy and you're just going to use this like a regular hardware wallet, it's got a really nice app that connects via Bluetooth. You type in your PIN code, and now you're connected online, and you can do what you need to do. You can see your balances. You can send and receive Bitcoin, and you can do all of the things that make you happy. So it's a pretty great device. I am a big fan of this so far. Now, I'm looking at this thing, and I ordered the Genesis Gray metal. It's kind of that, Apple space gray color. Pretty cool. As I look at this now, I wish I would have ordered the lunar silver version. It actually looks white, and I think that's really cool. Should have gone that route. That thing's slick, man. I like the black button and the white, that contrast there. That's really cool. They also have an all black version. That thing is made of plastic. Piece of junk. But it does the same stuff. All the stuff internally is all the same. The all black, though, looks good. I'm a big fan of all black stuff. That looks nice. But this one is the metal version. You can't really tell. It's painted. So I guess if you tap it with your fingernail, just so, you can kind of tell that it's metal, but it doesn't make a huge difference. I don't know how much that really impacts like durability or anything else. I think it's just a little higher quality. It's got a better look and feel to it. It definitely feels like a well-made product. It looks good. The screen is nice. It's very clean. It's got these nice rounded edges. It looks like a premium product. It feels like a premium product. And it has a cool little box, It comes with some stickers, which is great. We all love stickers. I put one on my microphone boom arm here. I put one on my laptop. I went crazy. They gave me a couple, and I just went absolutely nuts with them because I'm a big fan now. Hated it at first. Hated the Blockstream Jade Plus so much, but now I'm a big fan. So if you're looking for a hardware wallet solution, you can buy one. I think $169 here. I think it's actually cheaper on Amazon. I will include a link. There are a couple of different versions. I'll include a link to the exact one that I bought down in the description in case you are interested. But overall, again, I give this thing good reviews. The things that I would like to see, again, the buttons and all that, it's not that big of a deal. When you have to set this thing up, it's a pain in the ass. It really was. But you only set it up one time, and then it's done for years. The amount of interaction that occurs with this thing is very limited. Once it's all set up, I've got my wallet addresses. I've got one, hooked to my miners. I've got one that I use to send over to from Coinbase to this thing, and so I don't really need to input the code much. For the most part, it just hangs up on the shelf over there, and just hangs out and exists and lives its glorious life here with me in my house. So that's pretty much the deal. I would recommend it. nothing against it. I think it's definitely a good option. If I had to choose between this and the Trezor, I think that's what people want to know, because I've mentioned several times, I'm a big fan of the Trezor. I would say this for Bitcoin. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Trezor to store other stuff. Not that I store a lot of other stuff, because primarily what I like to accumulate is Bitcoin. And so that's what I'll be using for most of the stuff. But if I want to hang on to something else, some Litecoin or whatever else, I've always got the Trezor for that. So the Trezor's not going to get thrown in the trash can. I'm not just going to, abandon it and hurt its feelings. A little tear coming out of its screen. It's not going to happen. I'm going to keep it because it's a nice device. We've got some good memories together. I definitely have had a good experience with the Trezor. I like it a lot more than the Ledger, which I had previously. I had a Ledger for a long time. I had a Ledger for a long time. It had some issues, man. The first one I had some issues. The USB connection broke, and I couldn't connect unless I was like holding the USB cord just so. Ended up getting another one, restored that. Then Ledger had some sort of security breach, and I don't even know the extent of it. I didn't read too much into it, but I do know that anytime there's a company and a security breach, and it's something that involves my privacy or my finances, my inclination is always towards, I don't want to go with that company anymore. Avoid them at all costs. And so that's kind of where I'm at with Ledger. Haven't tried any of their new products. I'm sure some of their stuff is great. I'm sure whatever the security issue that they had was resolved. They got a lot of money. They got a smart team. I'm sure they're figuring stuff out. But for me, there are other products to use, and so that is why I am now an official Blockstream Jade Plus Metal Genesis Gray owner. So that's really all I got. That's a lengthy discussion about how I feel about this little miner. And, this is not super exciting stuff. This isn't even a new release, okay? It'd be one thing if this thing just came out. But this thing came out months ago, and there's probably a billion videos talking about it. So why you would even stumble upon this one, unless you happen to already be subscribed to my channel, is beyond me. I mean, why are you just looking into this now? But maybe you're just getting into crypto, and you're trying to decide between something like this and a Bitbox and a Trezor and a Ledger or whatever the case. And maybe this thing popped up in your feed, and now you're listening to me as I stand in my office here, rambling about the Jade Plus. So you can just skip to this portion. I'm actually going to make a little bookmark so you can click on it. I'll say click here. And when it goes to that portion of the video, I'm just going to say this right here. The Jade is a fantastic device. It's secure. It's a wonderful way to store your Bitcoin. It offers a number of privacy options, and it's fantastic for your growth as you move on through your journey into the world or around the world of cryptocurrency. It's good for all this stuff. If you're thinking about one, buy one today. That's about the nuts and the bolts of this conversation. So any questions, let me know down in the comments. If you have a question about other stuff or you want to know about Bitcoin mining or whatever the case, you can always go to my Instagram, send me a message. It's probably the easiest way to send me a lengthy conversation. This URL that's right above me here. This is a website that I am working on. It is my new venture, and we'll be talking about that in some later videos. If you go to the website, there's not much there just yet, but there is some exciting stuff to come. So that's for later on. That's for another video. We got some new exciting products to discuss. We got some new stuff that's about to be delivered, a lot more to talk about, and things that are a lot more exciting than Blockstream Jades. As interesting as they are, there are things that are more exciting to talk about. But I got this thing. It's cool. I wanted to mention it and give it my little endorsement here. I don't work for Jade. They don't pay me any money. I'm not sponsored by Jade. They're not giving me any money for this video. But I like their product. I think it's good. I like it so far. I'm going to continue using it, and I'm going to continue to throw Bitcoins on it. So it's got a whole bunch of little Bitcoins in there that I can hear when I shake it around. And I'm going to live a happy life. And then when Bitcoin hits $1 million, I'm going to sell them all, and I'm going to retire in Europe. So that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching another wonderful video that I made. Just kidding. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There's other stuff going on to talk about. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. And other than that, have yourself a wonderful day.